Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, and I came up with a way to make my very own resist spray, similar to the stuff Goosebumps that's been sold and popular for like the last year or two. I saw a demonstration at the rubber stamp show where they stamped with it and sprayed it, and I was really intrigued, but I forgot to pick up a bottle, so I decided to try to see if I could make my own, and I did. So what I did was I took a spray bottle and I put about 3 ounces of water, a tablespoon of Elmer's glue all. You can use any type of glue as long as it's not washable. Make sure it's a water-based glue that's not washable, like Elmer's glue all. The school glue won't work for this because it's water soluble. So like you'd use this, or probably Mod Podge, or any sort of permanent glue that's water-based. And also I added some shimmer liquid watercolor. I like this stuff from Dick Blick because it doesn't clog my sprayers. The sprayer that I'm using is from Paper Mart, and it comes with little caps, which I actually put little cosmetic sponges in and turn them into daubers, and you buy the sprayers separately. They're about 40 cents a bottle with the sprayers, but you have to buy like 100, so you might want to have some people to split an order with if you're going to go that way. If you can't get these, then recycle a hairspray travel size bottle, because that's already used for the thicker, gooier spray, so that'll work a little bit better than just like your empty travel size bottles you buy at the department store. So once you've mixed a tablespoon of the glue, about a teaspoon of the shimmer liquid watercolor, and 3 ounces of water, you want to shake it up really, really good. Now let me move my samples out of the way, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So the first thing we're going to do is just spraying it. Now I'm going to put a towel down, this oogie old t-shirt down, give it a good shake, and then just give it a good... Now if you spray slowly, you'll get big gobs. If you spray quickly, you'll get a finer mist. Now I'm going to set that aside to dry, but I have, through the power of television, through the magic of television, I have one that I've already sprayed there, and I'm going to ink it up. So I'm just using any dye-based ink. These are the Tim Holtz Distress inks, but any kind will work. Just like to put my put everything in here so I can see exactly what I've got. Sometimes I can't tell from the cover. Now you can see the texture of that spray kind of coming through there. Can you see that? See that? Now we can blend in some other colors. It's just such a cool effect. And I'll put a little purple in there too, why not? And then the cool thing is I can actually stamp on top of this with a pigment or chalk ink. Anything like a thick ink like that will work really well to stamp on top. Alrighty, and I'll bring that right up so you can see. Isn't that a cool effect? It reminds me of sea spray. Pretty fun, huh? Alright, so the next thing I want to show you is stamping with it. Now I've got a couple stamps here. I've got a really bold one, and I've got one with a little more detail. So this is a butterfly, Hampton Arts, and this is a leaf from Personal Stamp Exchange. And when you want to stamp with this, you're going to want to put make a puddle of this shimmer spray. So again, you want to shake it up, and make sure you keep a cap on this when you're not using it so it doesn't dry up in your sprayers and get all clogged. So I'm going to squirt out a good sized puddle, and I'm going to use a cosmetic sponge to apply this to my stamp. And I'm going to put quite a bit. Look at that. See how much is on there? It's really, really thick. See, it's really, really thick there. And I'm just going to stamp that on the edge of this card so you can see if I catch the light, you can see how thick it is there. And I'm going to give a little spray on the edge just to add a little interest. I sprayed really slow, so I got really big gobs. It's going to take a while to dry. And I'm going to do the same thing with this leaf. You could probably spray right on the sponge, but I find it, I get a lot more if I just spray a little puddle of it, and then I'm sure to get a really nice resist effect. Now, I'm not sure if the Goosebumps sprays are textural or not. These aren't textural, these homemade ones. That's very flat. Once it dries, I'll show you. I'm just going to give this a little spritz of spray, but I'm doing it off the side because I don't want to spray my whole work surface. So you can see I've got some splashes of color, and I've got the leaf there. I'm going to set that aside to dry. So if you look at this, this is an example that's all dried. Here's the leaf one that I stamped, and it's all dry, and you can't even see really where I put the ink, where I put the goosebumpy spray. My fake Goosebumps. I don't get in trouble with anybody. My fake Goosebump spray. So let me first ink up the butterfly one. This is already dried. I did it a couple minutes ago when I heat set it. You can use your heat gun for this. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up, and you'll get to see the resist of the stamped image. You can spray over, you can layer your colors, and that's a really fun effect. That's really pretty. You can see how the butterfly shows up. I'm going to go in with the blue. I love my bottle cap daubers. I actually was using my color box stylus daubers the other night, and I was like, you know what, I really just like my homemade ones better. And they were free, so that's always nice when you make something for free and it works better than the store-bought stuff. I think anyway. Yeah, just like this spray. Although I can't say if it works better than Goosebumps or not, but I forgot to buy some when I was at the stamp show, so I figured, well, I'll just try making some and see how I make out with that, and so far pretty good. Now I try to wipe over the design just to pull off any ink that might be stuck to the stamped image. But look at that, isn't that pretty? I love the wild splashy colors that I get there. Alright, now let's do the leaf one. There's some different colors, so let me just wipe that off. I'm gonna wipe my spray off there too before it becomes a permanent fixture, permanent part of my my table. And I'm gonna use some warm colors here. I've got again, dye-based inks. I've got honey, wild honey, barn door, and vintage photo. And I'm going to start with my lightest color. And start to see the leaf show up. I don't know if I used quite enough spray on that one because it's not showing up as much as I would like. It's going to be a lot more subtle. So make sure if you're doing the stamping technique that you put plenty of spray on there. And you don't get a really defined resist. It's definitely more of like a tone on tone. I'll show you in a second when I bring this up a little bit closer. You'll see what I mean by tone on tone. So, oh, that's a yellow again. Whoops. Just inking it up. So, I mean, you can really have fun with this and experiment with the stamps you have. It's all it is glue, water, and shimmer spray. And you don't even really need the shimmer spray. That's up to you whether you want to use that or not. There's that. I think that's a really fun effect. Now if I want to layer over more colors, all I would do would be just to give it a spray and then let it dry and then ink over it again. And that's what I did for this sample right here. If you look, these green spots right there, those were like the second spray. The white spots were the first spray. Here was a really, really big gob of it that dripped that kind of give it a cool effect. This is one where I stamped over it with the with some VersaFine ink, pigment ink there that stands out really well. There was just, you know, the stamping of the leaf and inking over it. There was nothing, and I did do a second spray there so you could see a very light spraying on the area. So after I did the red, I sprayed it, then I inked over it with some brown. That was the first one I did all together. And this one, actually, I used some spray inks, and then I sprayed over it again with the Goosebumpy, well, my fake Goosebumps. I don't know what, I gotta call this something else so I don't get in trouble with the Goosebumps people. My resist spray, homemade resist spray, that's what I'll call it. And then I inked over that after it dried. And, you know, it's just a lot of fun, and you get some really, really cool effects. So please play with this. Let me know how it turns out. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate the thumbs up from you folks. And subscribe if you haven't already, and you won't miss a crafty video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.